Okay, and then I will start. Hold on, where? 1 second. Facebook. Okay, all right, go live. Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. Hello from Bangkok. How are you guys doing in Munich and in Denmark, in Copenhagen?
Well, Munich is fine. Everything, the sun is shining almost. And yeah, spring is coming, I hope, soon. Yeah.
So let me first introduce you guys to the audience here. Marie-Louise, can you raise your hand so people know? Yeah, okay. So
Yeah.
Marie-Louise is part of Art Jewelry Copenhagen, which curated this exhibition, Copenhagen Rearranged. And we also have Nanna with us and Janne from Copenhagen. Hello. So they are part of the 9 artists involved in this project. So let's jump right in. The exhibition has been exhibiting at the gallery since the end of January. We were hoping to exhibit it at on January 15th, with the artist being here in Bangkok for the setup and greet and meet. But unfortunately, because of COVID, you guys could not travel to Thailand. So, we had to set up the exhibition without you guys. But it's been receiving lots of good comments and good exposures. So I think, we are ending this exhibition this weekend, and it would be a shame not to talk about how this whole idea comes about. So we will now ask Marie-Louise about, Art Jewelry Forum. What is it exactly first?
Art Jewelry Copenhagen. It's founded by a colleague of mine, ATTA, who's also a jewelry artist, and me. We co-funded it with the aim of introducing and presenting Danish art jewelry, like both in Denmark and international. And at the same time, we also had this idea that we wanted to have try to energize the field in Copenhagen. Also, like we wanted our products maybe to include others than ourselves, and maybe also having this aim of engaging or like collaborating with others. So that was a part of it. And yeah, we have been doing exhibitions and also travel abroad with workshops, teaching at workshops, and like trying to represent the Copenhagen scene together. And ATTA is unfortunately not here today, but she's here in the spirit. She's on vacation, and I think she's happy about that.
And when did you start that again?
Ooh, that's a good question. Actually, was it in?
Is it 4 years ago?
No more.
What was it when the
maybe
Art Jewelry Forum people went over to Denmark? Was it?
No, it was before that.
Okay.
We started with a big show in Maison du Danemark in Paris.
Yeah,
I think that was our first presentation. Well, you can look it up at our webpage. I think it's about maybe 5-6 years ago. I'm sorry, time flies.
But you have done a few exhibitions up till now, right?
Yes. Yeah. And organizing seminars and different kinds of stuff. And then, of course, when the COVID came, it kind of stopped. It was like it was hard for us to continue our, because everything kind of, the international kind of energy went down without being able to travel. And everything just got very difficult. So we kind of paused so this was actually like also getting together again. This project, Copenhagen Rearranged, was an opportunity to get together again and try to think about our aims again, and also how would we like it to be. So yeah.
Sorry. So when I approached you guys about, curating an exhibition to Bangkok, what was your thought, and, like, what was your idea on how to go about, curating the exhibition?
Yeah, you asked us actually quite a long time ago, so we had a lot of time to think about it, but maybe we didn't. Like, it was like when we saw the opportunity, like, also we wanted to do something again. Now it seems better with the COVID situation. And we were in contact, and then we decided, we do it now. And then we, of course, started thinking it over again. So again, we wanted to engage some of our colleagues in the project. And then we were also thinking about how could we take some of the good things here from Copenhagen, like also like in the system, and trying to also present that to the Thailandic audience. And we have this thought about, like, when you're working together, you get more. Like 1 + 1 is more than 2. The thing grows if you share. And also we have this tradition in Denmark. We have many communities, and basically very much of our system here is based on these unions, and where people get together and grow as a team, So we had this idea of getting this feeling with us to Thailand, to also maybe inspire some other people to kind of get together and grow together. Yeah, so that was our main thinking. And then, of course, we should choose some artists and to come with us. And we did it. Of course, we wanted to show some beautiful art pieces. So it was about also the quality of the work, but also artists that was engaging in the field, and maybe also engaging with us in the field. So we wasn't like going to have this idea that we wanted to represent everyone, like we need the old ones, the young ones. It was not about that. We, after this pause with COVID pause, we also wanted to work with some people that we wanted to engage with. And we invited the 7 artists, and they all accepted to join. And they didn't know what they went into, I think, no, because then we later on got together and we introduced them to this collaborative part of the exhibition. Yes.
Right. I have a question. Do you have like an association for art jewelry people, or people in jewelry field in Denmark?
Yeah, you could say, because we have this Copenhagen Goldsmith Guild. I would say that will be it's a very broad representation with traditional goldsmith and art jewelry people, and also what is it called, resellers, or like every kind of the field is
So
represented.
it's more like a professional organization.
Yes, and then there's the Danish Arts and Craft organization, where there's also maybe more like craft jewelry people involved. Yeah. So we have these kinds of associations.
Right. And because you only picked 7 artists and then, you know, the 2 of you, how did you go about picking these great artists to join in this exhibition?
As I said,
you mentioned already, but like, you know, do you know the artists in person, or have you been following their practices and you wanted to engage them in this exhibition?
Yes, we know every artist in person, and we know them for a long time. And yeah, it was also like if you should have a dinner party, who would you like to invite? You know, so that, because there was also this aspect that we wanted to bring people together. Maybe also so because we all know, Annette and I more or less knew everyone very well, but we also wanted the artists to maybe know each other. Because, you know, it's like some of them also already know, of course, know each other, but there was also a possibility for them to build new connections. And we, you know, also after the COVID situation, everyone being isolated, we wanted to bring people together. So we actually did this dinner and talked and presented our works to each other. And yeah, so we have met a couple of times during this project, because it was also kind of a social aspect.
Right. And now I would like to invite Nanna and Janne to, you know, take part in the conversation as well. What's your thought about this whole exhibition and this whole experience?
Should I start, Nanna? Okay. I think it was really nice that it was women. That was one of the points that I was looking at, and it was also most people I knew, but some I didn't know that well. So I think in that way it's really nice. I've worked together with Marie-Louise and Annette in other things, but this was, so for me, I think it was it was a, I don't know, kind of a secure place to be at, kind of, because I knew the people, I knew what I could expect also, because it's also a lot about, and I also know you a little bit, so I knew that it was gonna be professional also, because when you put energy into something, you just know you're gonna use time as a jewelry artist on things, and you have to decide what you use your time on, both personal, I think, and also professional. And when it's good, it goes up really well. And so that was one of the things I thought was really nice, that we were bringing together, and then also that we were bringing these things that we have to make together with another person. But maybe, yeah, you should more talk about that, Marie-Louise, I don't know. But that was really what I thought was really a really cool thing. Yeah, how about you, Nanna?
Yeah, I was really happy to be invited to join, because I'm probably the one in the group with least experience in the field, and to be able to get to know all of you better. I knew some of you, and work with you was really nice. And the social aspect of it after COVID lockdowns, it was really good to get together and talk and share experience. And I love getting a task and a challenge, and that was also really both difficult, challenging, and great to get a new assignment, and to have to work with an element from another artist was really a challenge, and something new for me, and that was really good to be pushed out of one's comfort zone, and yeah, try out new things. So that was a good thing too.
Now, for people who have not seen the exhibition, there are two parts of it. Marie-Louise, would you like to talk about it?
Yes, because I didn't mention, maybe it's a good thing. Yeah, when we invited the artists, we told them that we wanted to show some of their old works or works they already had and we knew about. And then we also invited them to join this collaborative thing or task. And I don't know if you would, I think you were told maybe later what we wanted to do, because then we had this dinner and we had a loose idea about what we wanted to do, but we also wanted to introduce it to the artist, and maybe together we could come up with an even better idea, or maybe these 9 brains could point to something that we haven't seen. You know, it's like when you are in a group together, you think better. You have more perspectives. So, but we had this fundamental idea about each artist should bring in to the project an element or something that she was working on, like a material maybe already going somewhere, not just the material, but maybe already been worked on. And then we should pass these elements on in between each other. So I was given an element from another artist, and I had to incorporate that element in my own work.
Let me share the screen and show some images so people know what we're talking about. But my question is that who picked, which element from one artist to another artist, like, who come up with that decision?
Yes, but at the dinner we were actually also talking about how can we. People were very into it. They felt it as a good challenge, and then should I comment on the image or?
Sure.
So here we see an Enamel piece with elements of Marie-Louise. So the feather and the small flower, are elements given from Marie-Louise and then worked into an Enamel piece. And here is Helen Clara Hemsley, and she's been giving elements from Trina, and it's the amber piece, the one you're pointing, and then she incorporated that into her jewelry. And here we have Janne Hansen. Maybe Janne, you should.
Yeah, I can talk about it. Yeah, I got Annette Dam, which we didn't knew who we got, so I got Annette Dam, but that was quite funny because Annette Dam has sit in Goldfingers for 7 years or something like that. So I really know how she thinks, and we think differently. So it's really nice to get her material and her way of thinking, though we of course discuss jewelry and we like each other's works. It's also different. So in a way, for me, it was really the plastic things that's light green and light gray, and the band is from her, and then I had to put it into my own aesthetic. That's maybe not so easy to know what it's always about, my pieces. So they're, and then in a, and her things is so strong, and you know, when you see her things, they're like just very strong, where mine is very light. So I had to like compromise, but not, I didn't feel like I was really compromised, but I had to find my own way. So I was really just cutting her really beautiful cast things from each other. So that was, yeah, that was my way of trying to take Annette in, but also doing it in my way. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and this is Kaori Yusu's free brooches, and it is with elements of Nanna, the enamel elements.
Yeah, that was quite fun because, can I comment on that?
Yes.
Because Kaori, she's very skilled enamelist, and I work in an enamel too. So I was a bit scared that she had to get my elements and incorporate it in her fine pieces. But I tried to make very small pieces. My pieces in her jewelry is the one with images on, a bit brownish. And I made them very small so that it wouldn't be too difficult to incorporate it, because I didn't know who was going to get my pieces. But she did it beautifully, and her color scheme is so, yeah, it just works out really nice.
Yeah, and here we have Malene Castalle, and she's been incorporated an element from Kaori Yusu, the one before. Yeah. And here we have Marie-Louise, who's incorporated one of my elements. Like, yeah, like the, what is that called in English? Like a swimming
Fin.
Yeah.
The swimming fin. Yeah.
Swimming fin. Thank you.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it was quite surprising to see. Well, for the elements, we decided in the group that we should put an effort into the elements we wanted to give to the others. So it wasn't just something we found in the trash can. Like there needed to be some kind of yeah, they needed to have some quality. So it was interesting for the one who got them to work on, you know. And then we also decided that we should deliver like free kind of like free elements. So there was also something to choose from. And then it was up to the artists what to do. They were totally free, but they could, of course, then have a dialogue with the one who they were gaining from, if it was all right to cut it, or if it was all right to do this, or what was the idea, or, you know, it was also kind of inspiring to have a dialogue in between the artists. Yes. And here, of course, Marie-Louise got one of my elements. She got free, but she chose one. And I was so surprised when I saw her work, because it was also really heartwarming to see my own piece incorporated in her work. She has this very strong, yeah, with the skeletons, and she has a very strong aesthetics. And here I think some of my humor got into the yeah, the piece, or it was, I think it was very well done, you know, like, yeah. And also like not compromising her own work and her own aesthetics. Yeah, so it was great. Yeah, and then here's my piece, which have been incorporated embroidery from Helen Clara Hemsley, like the one part of the satellite or the thing, yeah. And this is, yeah.
This is my part. I got the silicone, orange silicone object from Malene Castalia. And I wasn't allowed to cut it in any way, so I had to incorporate it in my piece as it was. And I really struggled with it because I thought I got 3 pieces from her, very nice colors, but I thought they were really big, and I really I didn't want them to be too dominant in my jewelry. I wanted people to be able to see that it was mine, but I struggled and I made sketches and models. But then I finally gave up, sort of trying to make her piece small and mine big. So I just thought, well, I'm gonna put her piece in front or up and in top of my piece, and with a bit of humor, I sort of worked with it. So I work very narrative, use images in my enamel pieces, and then I just thought silicone is a very light object, and if I sort of play on the contradiction with a weightlifter, a woman, of course, because I'm very much into equal rights and women's rights in society. So I thought it was fun to sort of make the silicone object the heavy part, but because it's really light. And so I play on different layers here, interpreting way. You can interpret into women are carrying very heavy weight on their shoulders in various cultures around the world, or you can play on the title heavyweight, and the silicone object is very light, and you can also interpret in my struggle with the assignment, because it was difficult, but when I sort of gave up and just turned it upside down, it sort of fell into place for me, because I like to play on a bit of humor as well, as Marie-Louise does. So then, and she's naked on the back side of the brooch.
Last but not least.
Yeah, we have Trina, which incorporated an element from Janne Hansen. So
yeah, so that's really funny, because it's so much just a mashup, I think, of me and Trina, but because she does these really fine things, she's just she can do magic with the wire. I think she's just it's just so light, it's so fine. And then there is and it was, I was like, wow, she's getting mine, it's just, but it was really cool to see that she kind of just put it into these light pieces, that because these mine can maybe look like something that's kind of found on the the soil, and then her is just very refined gold and pearls. So it was yeah, I think it was good.
Great. And how, now you mentioned that the elements were given to you. Who made the decision to give, like, which piece to, like, I asked before showing this, but yeah.
Annette and I, we came up with a plan, and it was random. So we were kind of we prioritized that we wasn't switching. Like if I was giving Janne's shouldn't have mine,
Okay.
So we kind of paired up. We didn't want that. We wanted it to be like more like you got one and you gave one to another person, that it shouldn't be a couple or a pair. Does it make sense? Yeah. And but then we did it randomly. We found out the system, and then we tried to, so it was kind of a lucky draw kind of system.
It would be really fun to do again and then mixing up with someone else.
Yeah, that could be a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, like from listening to you guys, there are two parts of it, like like being the one creating the piece with other people's elements. You have certain kind of worry, and also like you have another worry of like your piece being incorporated into another person's piece, right? So it must be like different types of fulfillments, once you have gone through the process of making your own pieces and also seeing your elements incorporate into another artist's piece.
Yeah,
were you scared, or like
No, it was like you had to give a gift. So I did put a lot of thought into my pieces that I had to hand over to someone I didn't know who was. And I didn't want it to be too difficult. I wanted to be able to work with, because my pieces are in enamel and you can't really cut them in two or anything. So it was sort of fixed. But then I tried to make sort of parts. I didn't put a whole image on my pieces, just half of an image, so that you sort of, it wasn't finished, but it was on the way. Yeah, and then just let go of it. It was a gift, and be confident that the receiver would work with it in her way, but trust that it would be used in a new way. And that was really educating too, to see it used in another way than you normally do yourself. That was really nice to see, because then you learn, and maybe you can use it yourself next time.
Yeah, and that was part of the statement that you guys wrote also, Marie-Louise and Annette, right? About the society, Danish society is built on trust. Without trust, the society would not be completely like this, right?
Mm.
Yeah, that's a big deal of it, like you have to trust yourself, but you also have to trust the group or and I think a lot of things in maybe not only Denmark, but in the Nordic countries are based on trust. Like it's an underlying stream in our way of approaching the systems and the people around us. But it's also a thing that can easily been taken from you. It's we need to, like, you need to also be careful in handling it. Do you know what I mean? But trust in other people also, I think it also has to do with responsibility. Like you also have the responsibility, for example, for this project, you have, when you said yes to participate, you also took upon the responsibility of bringing something into the group. Of course, the elements, but also your thinking and your ideas. That was a part of the thing. So it's, of course, this invitation to trust others, but also like building up some responsibility. And I think it's a very important thing in our field that we, each of us, feel this responsibility towards our field, because if not, it will be hard for us to grow as a field, because we are niche and not that many people knows about art jewelry. So we need to also like be responsible. So I would also say that the selected artists, we also like choose them because they are engaged, they are responsible to the fields, they show an interest, they show up when something is happening. Yeah.
Right. And how long do you have, since you receive an element from another artist to completion? What's the time frame?
Well, I in the middle of it, I got this residency in Munich and kind of turned my world upside down. So I had a memory loss there, I would say. But I think we had 8 weeks, maybe.
August or something like that. Oh, no.
Yeah, so much more. Yeah.
We got the elements, or we switched elements at the end of August.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we had to hand it in the beginning of December.
So not very long. Yeah.
No, but it was, for me, okay.
Yeah. No. It turned out really great, but I just want to give the audience some ideas, like, the people who might not be in the creative, business or industry, they might not know how long it takes things to get done. Yeah. Good. And you plan on having this exhibition on tour as well, or what's your plan for this exhibition in the future?
Yeah, but just before maybe going into that, I would say like handling the elements that day we did it. It was like Christmas Eve. Don't you think? Like it was so, we met and like, I think we were all a little like excited because we also had to like see the reaction from the person and we have to draw this person, we had the whole system going, but then we also did the unpacking like together, like around this table. And then it was like, okay, Marie-Louise, you have to give your work to, and now I can't remember, to this, Marie, and then I had to hand it over, and then Marie had to unpack my box.
Oh, okay, right.
So it was a little this feeling of giving gifts to each other, and it was very energizing and fun. I remember myself going home like with this smile on my face and like this excitement about sharing. Yeah, I don't know if you had the same experience or.
Yeah, I think it was really nice, and we were also a little bit shy, everybody like giving it away, and is it good enough, and it's so different what we do, so it's also like really different stuff that's coming up, and some does, some like Nanna and some else is also doing enamel, and so do Annette Dam. So there's a lot of people, but they do it in so different ways. And then like, oh, is it, you have all these mixed feelings, but it was also really nice. And it was also like, oh, okay, you got that one. Or, it was really just, it was a lot of fun, but it was also opening up. And I think I think is really the cool thing about the jewelry scene is that also abroad, I think it's, I've owned in all the years, people are really open in a way, and here we had to share, and of course that's very personal, sharing how you work. We could also call each other and ask, oh, is that okay, or can I do like this? So you don't want to look like anybody else artist, but now you have to do a little bit, so it's also really but it was really difficult but really cool also in a way, like having this gift, but also like trying to do it your own way and still sharing, as I see jewelry art do all the time. When there are artists coming also to Denmark, I see them. I think it's a really nice community in a way. And maybe it's because it's not like paintings or something like that. It's not like we have our own little language together. And of course it has to get broader out, because you can really collect some really cool jewelry art for fewer money, I think, in the world, and get a really cool selection, because we are like these niche that people haven't really noticed yet. But I think it will come. But I don't, you know, else I would like to make my own collection before that anyway. But I think, but because of that, I see that the jewelry field like sticks together, and we take care of each other in a way, because it's not about capitalism. Of course, we all have to have food. We all need that, but it's really about art, because you can't do this for the money. Then you're crazy, you know. So it's really for the love of the jewelry art. And I think that's bring us all together, you know. And also when you go maybe to Munich, or you go to, you know, where people meet, I think it's very unique, because it compared to sometimes fine arts. Yeah.
Nana, what about you? Do you have any comments about that?
Yeah, I thought it was a very good lesson in sharing, because when you're in a small field and it's difficult to live out from art jewelry, maybe you sometimes meet people that are afraid to share their knowledge and their skills with you. If you ask, how did you do that? That looks really interesting. If you see something that you can't figure out how it's done. And I think it's really important to share. Don't be afraid to share, because other artists will never do it the same way as you. So I think in this group, everyone trusted each other, and it was a good lesson in sharing. And for me also, the dinner Marie-Louise mentioned earlier, where we sort of got the task, and we just talked about the whole exhibition and what was going to happen. We didn't get a theme, and I always like to have a theme. And when I make jewelry, I always sort of find the story before I begin. That's the way I work. But this way, with this exhibition, we didn't get a theme. It was just Copenhagen rearranged, and I thought, well, what's going to be rearranged? And then I got the element from Melina Castaglia, and it was sort of, how was I going to make a story out of it? So that was a totally new way of working for me, not with the story. I had to put the story into the elements I had, and sort of jumping in the process another way. And that was very nice to try. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I mean, when people come to see the exhibition, you know, they spend a long time just looking at each artist's works, as well as, you know, the rearranged part. Let me show some images, so you know, you know what we're talking about, also of the space that we set up. And share screen. Hold on. Okay. And also another thing, you know, that is about collaboration and trust, is that Marie-Louise and Annette came out with an exhibition design. And, you know, they shared some images with us of models of how they wanted the exhibition to be displayed. And they were planning on coming to Thailand to, you know, install everything themselves. And once that was not possible, we had to do it here in Bangkok on our own. So, you know, we had to stick with the theme that they came up with the board, and also the mint color ribbons. Marie-Louise, would you like to comment a little bit on your theme and how you wanted to see it's done, and how we, you know, it's rearranged, really?
Yeah, but it's also about trust, isn't it? Like, as you said, we had this, you have been following our ideas about the presentation, and we shared the images of our models with you along the way, and this idea with the ribbons. Of course, it's kind of built also upon our way, how we like to engage the body. And like the ribbons was kind of this, getting this track through the exhibition, like with the boards, and like creating a line that was kind of cracked up. And when it appeared that we couldn't go, it was like, hey, Elsie, we trust you. Good luck. We also have to let go of that part. And yeah, and you did well. You know, it would have been different if we were there and have been doing it. But I really like that you grabbed our idea and went for it. You know, so it's, yeah. I'm happy. I would like to ask you, Etty, because we have this idea, you know, in our heads, like with the board, where the rearranged things was, and then we have the older pieces, and the previous, like the artist work. Do people see the connection between them? Do the audience get it? You think?
I think so. Well, sometimes I would be, you know, giving them a quick overview of the exhibition, and then they would see it. But then sometimes, you know, they would read the text, and then they would get it as well. And they would be like, okay, you know, let's see. Oh, okay, you know, they might not know who are the makers and, you know, the elements and whatnot, but they could could see, you know, the connection.
They see connections. Yeah, because it's hard for us sometimes to take the audience view, you know, because we know the works and we know the elements, and I could easily see who's who, you know, when I enter the exhibition, you know, it's because I know it.
Right,
you know?
right.
So it's like, I was a little curious about this, like, do people get an idea about whose element, to like the reference to the works on the walls?
Yeah, I think some people definitely got it. You know, they would look at the pieces on the walls, and they'll look at the pieces on the board, and then it would click. You know, like naturally when they come in, you know, it's either that they zoom into the table first, or they zoom towards the walls first. So, you know, either way, if they look at this place first, they might not get the idea just yet, because they haven't seen the pieces on the wall done by, you know, the artist on their, you know, like normal way of working, right? Yeah. But
interesting.
An exhibition before yours that we did, you know, it's a sculpture exhibition, but we also, the sculptures were created based on drawings of other people. So we put the drawings on one side of the wall, and then the sculptures, you know, throughout the room. So at the beginning, people didn't catch the idea, but when we, you know, told them, oh, okay, you know, the drawings were inspirations for the sculptures, then they start to have some fun, and then they look, oh, okay, I can see this drawing is for this sculpture. It's the same thing, you know. I have to kind of like tell them the general idea before they could really have fun with it, you know, versus they look at it and say, okay, yeah, I get it, but they might not be like investigative, you know, without us telling them what it's all about. Yeah.
No, but it's also nice to have a possibility to have something to say and opening it up.
Right. Yeah, and it was nice to see different types of materials and techniques being used, you know, and we can clearly see each one aesthetics and individuality through the work. So yeah, it's, I think, you know, people get to see that, and that's important also. Yeah. So yeah, great. And as part of, let me stop sharing. Hold on. Okay. So as part of the exhibition, we also produce catalogs. So, you know, we have works of each artist, you know, the normal piece, not normal, like, you know, they're normal pieces, and then the rearranged piece next to one another. So you'll be getting a copy of the catalog. So, and people can buy this catalog at the gallery as well. Yeah. It's too bad you guys are not here to sign it. But yeah, but going back to my questions before, do you have any plans for this exhibition after this at all?
Yeah, Trina, who's part of the exhibition, suggested that we show it in her space, like in Copenhagen. So we will do that in the spring, I hope.
Okay.
Maybe I'm not totally updated because I'm here in Munich now. But yeah, I think when I come back, and when we get the pieces back and everything, yeah. So that's our plan. But from there, we don't have any plans. But
Right.
it was fun to hear that Nanna said that it could be fun to do it again with some other people. So I don't know if that's a common feeling from all the participants, but but it was a challenging thing. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Did you have any other artists who came up to you and said, I wanted to be a part of this, can you include me next time?
Actually, no.
No? Okay.
No.
Because they probably haven't seen the exhibition.
No, that could be like because we shipped it to you.
Right.
Yeah. No, so we haven't had any, I haven't had any reactions. But I'm also not in Copenhagen, so that could also be why. I don't know, do you have, Nanna or Janne, have you have any?
No, I just think people think it's, colleagues just think it's nice. I think I can see that now. So they think it's cool, and I think that it's the important is to that we are sharing, also showing Copenhagen in your nice gallery, So I think in that way, people are just more, of course, they would probably have loved to be in. That's, of course, when you're not in a show, you always, why didn't I get chosen? You're always like that. But, you also get over that after a few years. So then, okay, me maybe next time or next time again. But I think that's how it works. That's always how it works. But I think it's a cool way of showing and also doing collaborative work, both with the colleagues from your own country, but also like showing things it's in on the other side of the planet, So I think it's so yeah. But for your question, probably a lot of people would have loved to be in. But then we had to take your whole gallery, so
Yeah.
Next time,
right? Yeah. Great. Any last comments you want to have on this exhibition? The exhibition will be on for 2 more days.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. And I think it's really, I like the way you put it up there. And I like that it is totally rearranged. And that it's a lot of times it's so, in a gallery, it's so strict in a way. And I think it's, of course, you see each pieces, but I think it's also more relaxing. And you always feel like really going close to jewelry art. That's a cool thing about jewelry art, that you go kind of close with your eyes. What is this all about? So I think it's allowing you, as I see it, is allowing you to do that. It's playful, I think. So yeah, it's cool.
Thank you.
Would love to be out there to see it. But thanks for all your work with it.
Thank you so much for trusting me with all your works.
Yeah, of course.
And Marie-Louise, any last word?
No, maybe just a big huge thanks to you for asking about if we wanted to do a project with you. And maybe also mention thanks to the Danish Art Foundation for supporting the exhibition. Yeah, and like, I'm sad we didn't make it this time, but hopefully in the future we will be able to join you in Bangkok, because it's such a beautiful place on earth.
Yeah, it's
and
too
I
bad.
look forward to see your new space. It looks amazing. Yeah.
Yes. Well, the time will come when the world is a bit no, it's back to
Hopefully.
normal, even if it's a new normal. But
Yeah.
yeah, will be more enjoyable time then. But thank you so much for, you know, creating interesting pieces, beautiful pieces, and for challenging yourself in this project, you know, from as a curator as well, and also as artists, right? So yeah, thank you for, you know, pushing this field forward with what you're doing. And I hope to be able to work with you guys again in the future.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And thank you so much. And, you know, enjoy your evening or afternoon maybe. Yeah, enjoy your afternoon, you know, wherever you are. And for those of you who haven't seen the exhibition, you know, come see it. And we're probably going to do like a live feed or something like that before we end the exhibition, so people will get to see it before we close. But yeah, thank you so much, and
Yeah.
enjoy your weekend.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah,
Take
you
care.
too.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll
Yeah.
talk to you guys later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. สวัสดีค่ะ